spelled Middlesticks wrong. Oh, no. Okay, there we go.
Oh yeah.
I feel kind of weird. There's a UML streams channel,
Uh-huh.
and the last 5 in a row have been us.
That's because we're on the grind, you know, we're putting out that content.
Yeah, there were a couple of others who started at the start of last season, and then it's just been only Middlesticks.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I'm gonna join their lobby, I guess. We'll see how many people are there.
I suppose I should probably do that, huh?
Oh, the whole enemy team is here. Excellent. I'm just gonna invite Logan so I don't feel so lonely.
Yeah. Praise Logan. Well, I snatched up the last spectator spot, so you know, we're good to go.
It's actually kind of rough because that means they all have to be in order and whatnot.
Yeah. My opponent has 7 people in here. That's kind of nuts. I suppose we also will have 7 people in here.
Yeah, but we're 2 casters. They're probably coaches. It's intimidating.
Coaching in current year, imagine. Imagine.
Well, we got tendies in here, so it's the 1v5. We don't need it.
Hey.
Have you looked at the format for him this year? It's like
No.
there's only half the
no.
team, so it's a lot more forgiving.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's 24 teams, and top 4 in each division make playoffs for 16 total.
Really?
Yeah.
16 of 24 people make it in.
Yep.
Huh.
And then it's still like striated, so like the top 2 seeds I think get buys, and then 3 plays 4.
Huh. Interesting. I'm not sure I'm usually behind that many people making it in. If you're only cutting a third of your teams going into playoffs, it kind of feels like the regular season doesn't matter as much.
Oh,
But
no, they actually changed the bracket. It's just a straight up 16 team single elim. All right, well, damn. I mean, I kind of see it from the perspective of you're only playing, 1/4 of the teams, so there's a chance that your division is just cracked compared to everything else.
sure. Yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely a possibility, I suppose. I don't know.
They also only had 23 teams sign up so far.
So is it double round robin, or how does that work?
It's single. It's still just 5 weeks and then 4 weeks of playoffs. Yeah. Oh, they just had somebody leave. That was nice.
Yeah. I was gonna leave whenever Miguel got in here. As of yet, still 20 minutes into the co-op versus AI game. So, you love to see it.
Oh, now he's done.
Okay. DTS playing mid for them?
Yeah.
Must be, right?
He is a mid laner. Yeah.
Cool. I haven't seen much DTS. I'm not super familiar with him.
That's honest. I recognize him. I don't know Is he Vortex's mid? Is that why I recognize him? I don't know.
I could not
Like,
tell
I
you.
100% recognize the name, and I know he's a mid laner, and I know he's pretty good, but I don't. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's the important things. That's, you know, the highlights right there. Is there attendees one?
I mean, probably. Oh, no, there isn't.
Ah.
There is just attendees. His last game
So
was 2 months ago, and he's a gold player from Season 8.
Okay. So that's probably Tendy Smurf, right?
Yeah.
Seems about right.
Oh, came back 6 days ago and played an ARAM. As we know, Tendy's a known ARAM player.
Absolutely. Well, see, he just keeps all of his ARAM games segregated to that one account.
Just the one?
The ARAM games, absolutely.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
just go Snowball Ignite Thresh.
What else would you take on Thresh? Let's be honest. Honestly, it's much more surprising when Pro Draft isn't used.
Yeah,
Frankly.
I was thinking, do you guys need Pro Draft? Yes. Alright, well, go make it then. Alright.
Yeah.
I do think that's a bit funny.
Yeah, I just sort of operate under the assumption that Pro Draft is being used. Which is strange. It feels like a couple years ago, it was less common in a lot of amateur leagues, but you think as more time goes on, people would have more champions on their accounts, but you know, it's just hasn't
An
necessarily...
equal amount of people get banned, you know?
True, I had not considered that angle. Plus, using Pro Draft, we can avoid X-Craze not having all the champions. Oh, look, we're Rom.
Yeah, we're a vacuous spider today.
Yeah?
That's a Bloodborne reference, but yeah.
I didn't catch it, so I appreciate you explaining it to me. I was thinking more like a CD-ROM. But I don't even know what that actually stands for.
Random access memory? Oh no, that's a RAM.
That's RAM. Means the data on the disk is read-only, or cannot be altered or erased. Huh. Interesting.
Oh, okay. Well, we're into the draft. We're here. We're in it. We're live. So hello, officially, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Maris, and my co-caster is Aikedo, and we have week 1 of the Upsurge Minor League summer season, and Return of the Middlesticks is going to take on DragonClaw. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very tired today. I apologize ahead of time. I took a nap prior to it, thinking that I would be more alert for the cast, and then that didn't work out. So, try to wake up a little bit. But yeah, we've got some bans. Renekton, Graves, they're banning Irelia, and then Victor, Seraphine, and Camille gonna be taken away.
Yeah, Irelia ban from the side of RTM always seems a little bit weird. You know, definitely a champion that Tendies has shown proficiency on a million times over. So always interesting to see them go about self-banning. Must mean that there's a specific matchup or a specific champion that they're looking to get there in the top lane, and already a Volibear lock-in. Technically could be top, but I feel like it's probably more likely jungle here. Volibear jungle has been picking up a little bit more steam on this patch, so definitely something to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and then the Karma locked in for DragonClaw. Again, a really big flex pick, so not a whole lot shown thus far in either draft.
Yeah, definitely. Karma could easily go support, could go mid, and technically could even go top. Probably has some okay matchups into some of the champions that Attendees likes to play, so definitely a lot of options there.
Sejuani is really interesting with, like, you have Hecarim, you have Udyr, you have Olaf up in terms of, like, competitive normal junglers. The Volibear, the one taken away, and yeah, Sejuani gonna be locked in. She got a buff recently, so maybe that's enough to push her into being a champion again.
Definitely. I mean, Sejuani, even when she's not the top of the tier list, is always pickable. The longer range engage as well as tons of tankiness is never not valuable. There's always an option for Sejuani, but it's interesting to show a priority towards it with 0 other junglers off the table. And then we see Kai'Sa and Riven as the lock-ins for ROTM. Not too crazy to see the Riven here, but that does sort of show us exactly where the Volibear is going. Volibear very likely is going into the jungle, so top side of the map there showing for ROTM, and there's a lot of early power there.
Yeah, and DragonClaw going to counter with the Shard of the Monolith gameplay, so that probably slots the Karma into either mid or support, and then Mal the Rock Phytomus will be joining the top lane, and is a pretty strong counter pick into Riven, so we'll see if, Tendies can get some space and some opportunity to even pop off in game number 1.
Yeah, one thing I would note is that Malphite Sejuani isn't the strongest at 2v2ers, so it feels like DragonClaw is sort of showing their hand here that they're not going to play around top lane, because they don't really win the 2v2. So it might give RTM an option in this game to play around Riven, because once Riven gets a lead in this matchup, Riven versus Malphite, there's not a whole lot that Malphite can do to get back into it. So would not be surprised to see if that was where a lot of the pressure was put early on.
Yeah, DragonClaw's bans make me think that it's going to be Karma support. Those are very, protect Karma picks. And then they're going to go ahead and empower a Jinx. So a lot of, peel frontline, this is a very traditional front-to-back comp that they've built now, and they can, finish it up with just a regular control mage and feel very strong about their position. So what's Return of the Middlesticks going to do? Right now, a lot more bruisery in terms of their damage profile and team fighting.
Yeah, and Alistar, always good with Kai'Sa in a vacuum, just because able to add a lot of her passive stacks. There's a lot of early power in that. Though, yeah, I'm not sure that RTM right now has the tools available to win in a straight-up fight against this hyper carry composition here from DragonClaw, and the Sylas feels like they're acknowledging that. They're not going to try to team fight. They're playing for a lot of skirmishes in the early to mid game to try and snowball this game, which feels like there's a lot of options for it. Their team comp is definitely a lot stronger at 15-20 minutes than DragonClaw's.
Yeah, what this also opens up is the potential to swap Sylas into the Malphite lane and just make his life miserable, and then you get Riven isolated against Orianna, which is still not great for Riven probably, but it's at least not as miserable as maybe a Malphite with a couple of armor items. So I like that, but then of course the Orianna ball delivery system, like DragonClaw, have just, if you could draft a teamfight comp, if you could, it's pretty good. Is what I'm trying to say. That's
yeah, definitely.
That's a scary looking team comp.
A lot of power in the team fighting there. Though, of course, when we do see these compositions locked in, there are exactly 2 damage threats on the side of DragonClaw. So if at any point in the game they end up falling behind, this is the type of composition that can really lack a lot of damage going into those mid-game team fights.
Yeah, and early on they lack a lot as well, so it's going to be difficult to find early plays and snowball early. But, mid to late game.
Definitely, that's DragonClaw's aim here, just to make it to mid to late game relatively unscathed. It's definitely what we need to keep an eye on. RTM has very much drafted themselves into the earlier, more proactive composition. The onus is on them to establish a lead before DragonClaw's team composition really comes online. So definitely have their work cut out for them here.
Sorry, I'm setting up the scoreboard for in-game.
No, you're fine.
We're doing it ahead of time for a change. What a
Hey.
novel concept.
Look at you go.
What did they have?
Hired Maris on the ball.
DGL or DCL?
CL.
And that's like purple. It's kind of like a Monster Energy logo, just tilted a little bit.
Yeah? I've not seen it.
It's on
Oh,
the screen
okay, I
right
see
now.
it.
Yeah.
It looks very similar to a certain energy drink. But it's purple. So entirely different, frankly.
I mean, I'm sure they have a purple flavor.
I am not enough a connoisseur of Monster to be able to confirm nor deny that.
They have all the different colored cans. It looks very nice all lined up.
Yeah, even, well, the purple energy, purple Monster can has white claw marks on it, so that seems very different than what we're seeing here.
So then, like Gatorade flavors,
Uh-huh.
do you call them by the colors or are you a cop?
Or am I a cop? Is
Yeah.
that...
Yeah.
I think that call most of them by their flavors, except for like lime. I think that you can see like lime.
It's
Other than that, the rest are just colors.
okay. So you're like a partial cop. You're like a part-time cop, maybe a mall cop.
Yeah, probably.
All right.
Oh.
Well, this is the draft again. We're watching it a second time, and yeah, this is week 1 of Upsurge Minor League. It's again kind of like last season. You've got the 6-team group, but this time the top 4 make playoffs. So 3 wins and you're pretty much, and you should be guaranteed a spot in playoffs. If you go 3-2, if you go 2-3, you're probably in a tiebreaker for playoffs. So that's your big stakes, right? You need to get 2 or 3 wins in this group phase, ideally 5. Don't worry about it, but yeah. So both of these teams will be looking to get off to a good start.
Yeah, definitely. And with ROTM coming off of a UML season where they had made playoffs, so perhaps looking to do that again. Maybe do slightly better, as the playoff run didn't go too far. But with a newly refilled roster, a couple new faces, a role swap, definitely pretty promising.
Yeah. In terms of general ROTM news, so as you can see, this is the brand new UML team minus League Lover Larry. I hate that name so much. I don't want to cast it. AKA Firelight, AKA Vaughn, is the normal mid laner. DTS subbing in for him right now as he's playing in the Sapphire League finals that, since it's best of 5, I'm going to assume is going on after this, so we'll raid them at the end. So you can catch up on all that action. But that's very exciting. And then Thursday night is the LRS finals for our Platinum team, where they're going to be playing against Rising Tide Tsunami in a best of 5 for, it's like a $700 difference between first and second place. It's kind of ridiculous.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, you get... Sorry, I shouldn't be looking this up right now, but... yeah. Oh, it's $500. It's 700 Canadian dollars for first, 200 for second. So, quite a gap there. Plus the trophy, of course, always looks nice in the trophy case. So that's Thursday night. Unfortunately, we're not casting that. That'll be on the Legends Esports stream, and then Saturday is when we're gonna close the jersey giveaway in the Discord. You do have to be in the Return of the Middlesticks Discord in order to sign up for the giveaway, and you have to either submit some fan art or show us, a recent accomplishment that you're proud of. So those have been really cool to see you guys, doing cool stuff in your lives. But yeah, we've successfully wasted 2 minutes, so let's look again at these team comps. is there a lane that you expect to be winning early for uh, DragonClaw that they can play around with, some of the early power that Sejuani does have?
I don't think that there's any that are inherently winning. The only one that maybe has a chance is like Orianna against Sylas, just because it is that range versus melee matchup. But Sylas usually is fine in that matchup. I don't think there's a whole lot of room for too many proactive plays on the side of DragonClaw. I'd expect Sejuani to be more of on just putting out fires duty here, just making sure that our team isn't able to establish a lead, because if they go into that mid game completely even, DragonClaw is very happy. And I think just a general lack of CC or setup means that Sejuani isn't going to have a whole lot to do in the early game other than sort of protect the lanes.
Yeah. Do you think, stake your analytical prowess on this, do you think DTS intend these lane swap? Or are they just going to play these lanes straight up?
I think at least for the first 5 minutes of the game, it seems unlikely that they would lane swap. Um, I feel like they'll probably take the standard lanes. Because no matter what, Sylas is always going to have the option to take Malphite ult. And I don't think that the Malphite Riven lane is so awful that attendees will really want to get out of it. I think it's one that you can definitely play fine into, especially with the recent Riven buff that lowered her shield cooldown. I don't think that Malphite's gonna be able to actually shove him out of lane. I think Tendius is gonna be fine just chilling in that matchup. Though it would be really exciting to see if they did end up swapping him mid, just because it's sort of the top lane matchup would definitely go in our team's favor, but it makes that mid lane matchup a lot more volatile, I think.
I
But
love
yeah.
that I load in and the FPS counter just says 0. That really makes me feel good right now. I also had a game crash on me. I don't know if that was you casting with me or if it was CJ, but okay, I made it in. Did you make it?
Yep, I am also in.
Perfect. So, wow. Week 1 of Upsurge Minor League on the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars for game number 1 is going to be Return of the Middlesticks. I have to cough in the middle of this. I'll let you introduce them because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah, in top lane we have Tendies 2 on his signature ribbon pick, Loker in the jungle on the Volibear, DTS playing the Sylas mid lane, and X-Craze and Prodigium with the Kaisa Alistar bottom lane.
And on the top side of the rift, wearing the red health bars for game number 1 will be DragonClaw. 1 KK in the top lane on Malphite, Flux in the mid lane in the jungle on Sejuani, Senpai in mid playing Orianna, and UST Pilgrim and in the bottom lane playing Jinx and Karma.
I think you nailed it.
Yeah.
That was,
is actually subbing in this week as well for their normal support, whose name I've already forgotten and put out of my memory. So,
that's okay. If
worth
they're
noting.
not here for this game, then we won't need to know them until much later.
So yeah, both teams down a man to start off week 1, but with pretty capable subs, judging by OPGGs and just general rank and whatnot. So,
Ooh. Really interestingly here, DragonClaw's bot lane ended up just barely sneaking into the Tri-Brush. So they are going to be setting a trap for the bot lane of Irod's team. We'll see if they end up walking into it or if they go the safe way. Karma level 1 with the ultimate available does do quite a bit of damage, so probably a hit and run here.
oh,
Yeah.
yeah, just gonna get a good trade. It looks like as X-Craze takes a casual, almost half of his health and damage, has to eat that potion on his way in. Feels a little bit bad, and now the harass can continue from the double ranged lane. Meanwhile, Tendies, that's a good trade. As it turns out, Broken Wings with the full combo into the Conqueror proc means that he'll win that one.
Yeah, Conquer plus 3 abilities at level 1 is pretty good into trading into the poor Malphite, who has exactly 1 ability with a relatively long cooldown on it. But I don't think that Riven will be able to pressure that too much in the early game. It'll probably be at least to level 5 or 6 before we see too much going on there, I think.
Yeah, a couple of tech choices in our Keystone runes. The Comet for the Malphite, gonna give him a little bit more poke, a little bit less like sustain and I guess scaling almost with the grass proc that you'd normally see. But usually in lanes that you're more confident in, you'll go the Comet. It also helps against ranged matchups because you can't proc it. And Tendies is just giving it to him at level 3. And then the other one is the Phase Rush on the Alistar, which is a pretty recent tech that we've been seeing in LCS. Again, I'm a notorious Phase Rush hater, so I'm not a big fan of it, but I can understand why it exists.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty strong. Gives you a lot more options in how you play some early trades, though the lack of consistent tankiness from the Aftershock is something that can be punished, so definitely keep an eye out for it. But yeah, that top lane, Tendy's obviously very comfortable on Riven. As we saw there already, taking control of the lane, especially into the Comet Malphite. Comet very much a early game rune. It is to take control of your lane. You get the extra sustain from your Corrupting Pot as well as Time Warp Tonic, and you just try and poke them out, but not working so far for
Yeah,
DragonClaw.
he goes back, gets a little cheater recall, and grabs a Doran's Blade. Meanwhile, DTS gets a little healing on the Kingslayer. Excuse me, not Kingmaker. The opposite, in fact. Loker's looking in top lane for 1KK. Stun gonna land. Flash for the stun from the Volley Bear, and the Sky Splitter for first blood for Loker.
Really well played there by Loker. The instant flash there, able to catch 1KK's flash and get the stun off. And already an advantage there in the top side of the map. We highlighted as our team's win condition, trying to get some sort of a lead in the early game, and very much doing that with, a lane where Tendies was already ahead, already having
Loker
success.
looking for the return
no.
gank. The Hashinshin teleport in from 1KK, and Tendies giving it to him. The third broken wings, and the chop from Loker gets him a second kill.
You hate to see it. I mean, you kind of have to teleport there, but I think Flux has to back you up just because your wave is slow pushing into the Riven. You just died. You're going to be screwed out of the game forever unless you crash that wave. And unfortunately, Flux was doing the golems. Maybe just a lack of communication there means that if it was bad before, top lane is now absolutely doomed for 1KK. He cannot exist in this lane. Already down 17 CS, and it's frozen forever.
I was going to say, look at where that minion wave is now. Tendi's freezing that one just outside of his own tower. And Flux is going to come up and at least try to help him break that. I don't even know if they can, if the Sejuani Malphite is intimidating enough to make him push that underneath the tower.
I think that they probably can crash it, and I think that they have to. I mean, it's already fucking doomed up there. Yeah, no, it's... Yeah. Was he actually going to keep it out of... Oh, no, it didn't crash.
Oh, it didn't quite crash. Loker's looking bottom lane, though. He got a reset, grabs his Bomby Cinder, and then runs in bottom lane. I kind of like Flux has gone for the Ionian boots on his first back. Pretty standard. Something we've seen from a lot of junglers recently, but it'll give him a little bit more speed to zip around the map and a little bit lower cooldown on his, critical abilities, especially once he hits his level 6.
Definitely. Lots of early CDR can be really important. And Tendi's is actually really low. He does have the ultimate available, whereas 1KK is not anywhere close to having that available for him. And Tendi's wisely going to take this as an opportunity to just recall, spend his money, maybe teleport back, because I don't think that he's in any real chance of getting dove there. And oh no, 1KK fucked his wave. He didn't know that Tendi's had teleport. Now it's just gonna get frozen again. Oh, it's so doomed.
Meanwhile, Prodigium going in. They're going to catch Pilgrim along with the Volibear ult, trying to burst him down, and they'll finally finish him off with an ult for, damage from X-Craze. Meanwhile, Tendi's in the top lane, pops his ultimate. DTS is low. Senpai kites back away from the Chain Whip, and Tendi's is a little bit worse for wear after that gank in the top lane. The unstoppable force from 1KK used to help try to burst him down. Does he actually have the sustain? He's looking for it. Oh, not quite able to burst through the shield.
Yeah, Malphite shield. Thankfully letting 1KK recall, and Flux spent more time top lane, able to come back up and make sure that wave isn't just frozen forever. But there's just so much time expended for this Sejuani, just trying to put out the fire that is top lane, and doesn't have a whole lot to show for it. His top laner is still down 30 CS, still 0-2-0. And meanwhile, Loker has just been getting so much done around the map, able to expend the Summoners of Jinx in the bottom lane as well as pick up that kill.
And the dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Our team taking it to heart that they needed to get something done the early game, and Loker already very much doing that. Really well played there.
What's with the team? Where's superstar jungler Aikedo Jungle? He has retired and is in the caster booth with me.
Yeah, I'm washed.
Both of us with the boomer hands now just have the golden vocal cords to back up the poise.
See, if I were here, I would have 0 kill participation, but I'd probably be up like 15 CS. As you can see, Loker
DTS
doing a
steals
little
away the
bit better.
Sejuani ult. They're looking to turn this one around as Prodigium comes in from the top side, gets the ultimate down, and Flux is taken out by his own ultimate, the Betrayal, and a nice pick for ROTM. DTS still looking for it away with the Abscond. Uses the Blast Cone to knock Pilgrim back into the team. The Sky Splitter for the damage. Prodigium gets 2 with the knockup. Has to be careful about that tower shot as Senpai does get the return kill. A good shockwave pulls Loker back into tower range as well, but they're still going to be able to fight their way out of this, it looks like, as yeah, just a little bit late to the party. Oh, the roam! He gets the abduct back onto yeah, but here comes Malphite from the top side. He has the ultimate available if they're looking to dive, and looks like they're going to cancel the play. But altogether, a 2-for-1 for ROTM, and some really nice plays, especially the early roam from Prodigium.
Definitely. The first time that Flux has been able to make a proactive play, and already Prodigium is there to counter gank it and just turn it
a little
around.
overextended here in the bottom lane. He has the Killer Instinct available, but might not get to move for this whole duration. Actually takes a tower shot. Oh, the zap takes him down. That's so important as Pilgrim grabs the kill. Meanwhile, Malphite going to ult DTS, and some good plays from DragonClaw the last couple of minutes. Net them 2 kills.
Yeah, really
good. Oh, but here comes Loker
DragonClaw,
trying to chase 1KK, and Senpai's here to back him up. So it is the 1v2 until Prodigium Hex flashes over the wall, gets the knockup plus the stun. Just going to lock up the Malphite, and in comes Loker to try to find that last little bit of damage. Does he have it? 1KK is so fast with the flash forward. He'll find the kill. In comes Flux looking for a little bit more. Hits the W trying to trade this one in, but he's got Aya in his back pocket. Loker just gets bursted out, but Tendies is on the top side as he finds another kill. That was a mess. I don't even want to count those. I think that's 3 for 3.
Explosive gameplay here, back and forth. Both teams very much playing to try and get something back here. As DragonClaw did a good job, they were extremely far behind, and getting that kill bot as well as the kill mid, very important. But it seems like Prodigium is literally just everywhere, and whenever DragonClaw's trying to make a proactive play on their own, Prodigium's there to turn it around, and ROTM up 3 kills, up 2k in gold, looking pretty good here. Yeah. Dragon spawning in just under a minute will probably be the next point of contention, but yeah.
I was going to say, it seems like Ayaz had the same ideas as Prodigium. He's just been a step behind, and that's meant that Prodigium can, apply his CC in those fights and help turn them early. So really nicely done by him. Looks like the Herald going to be taken down by Loker as well, uncontested, and then they'll be able to maybe look at that dragon, but a lot of vision already set up for DragonClaw around that dragon area. Do you think that they're strong enough to go for a 5v5 right now, or do they have to give up the second one?
DragonClaw, it doesn't feel like...
Oh, well, maybe if they catch Prodigium to start off with. He's here clearing the pink ward. Flux, not quite able to connect with him. Doesn't have the ultimate up just yet, but you can see the early priority on it for DragonClaw. ROTM just a little bit late to that rotation as Loker's doing his wolves right now.
Yeah, I actually crashed, so give me just a minute.
Oh, we lost Aikedo, so it's the Maris solo cast for the time being. X-Craze looking bottom lane, gets a little bit of damage down onto Pilgrim, but has to be careful as yeah is here. Uses the the Killer Instinct plus the heal to run right back through toward his team. Meanwhile, DTS... Everybody's just fighting in solo lanes right now. DTS gets the Sejuani ultimate onto Senpai, gets him low, flashes away from the Sejuani ultimate himself, now looks for the abduct. Flux trying to turn that one back around, but he's taken down by the chain lash. DTS still trying to find a little bit more. Flux is low off of the second Q, and he'll have to flash out. Meanwhile, Tendies is cutting the wave in top lane. Loker and X-Craze are duoing the dragon. Yeah, with the damage over the wall, but Loker secures the dragon, and Tendies still is just bothering 1KK underneath his tower. Flux is so low. Did he spot him? He actually did spot him. DTS is getting tower plates in mid lane. There's things happening everywhere. We have an Ocean Rift. There's a Herald drop in bottom lane. Flux is in trouble as Tendies goes over the wall, steals away some of his Krugs. In comes Shelly in the bottom lane. That's a lot of play-by-play to happen, and you missed all of it to analyze for me.
Yeah, but looking at it, ROTM up 8-4, getting everything here, and importantly with that Herald, able to bail out X-Craze, who was sort of left alone for a long time, and on his own, still able to pick up that CS lead, and with that turret,
Oh.
able to get some gold in his pocket, so, you know, not being left alone for too long. Really good job there by RTM.
Yeah, and despite how long he's been left by himself in the bottom lane, he's still up 14 CS. Like that's a pretty good effort from X-Craze, honestly. He's doing pretty well for himself. Prodigium looking for that gank in mid lane, but Flux is here for the counter gank. Loker is here for the counter gank, though. But 1KK is headed down mid lane right now for the counter gank. And now everybody's headed back to their lanes.
Yeah, no rest here. Everyone just constantly looking for the plays. You know, it feels like DragonClaw's really feeling the pressure, as they sort of should. You know, they wanted to go into this mid to late game completely even. Now, 4K behind as well as 2 dragons. Definitely not what they were hoping for. Though they do still have the superior scaling. So, you know, if ROTM isn't able to push this lead, then there's still a lot of play here for DragonClaw. Still a lot of options for them. Ooh.
Clearing out that pink ward. Prodigium on the top side, maybe looking for the roam. Can also just head back up as X-Craze and Pilgrim and have all initiated the swap. Ooh, DTS gonna grab the Orianna ult. Maybe look to get aggressive here. Has the damage, but the good, well-timed flash from Senpai is gonna get him out.
It was really close there. Neither ability quite able to find
DTS is still looking for it. He hits the sombrero for the double or the two-man ultimate. Tendies and Loker are here trying to find everybody. It's a lot of tower shots being tanked up as Tendies trying to get out of the top side. Just gets the snare on the W and will finish him off with the inner fire. So the dive goes a little bit wrong as they lose 2 for 1.
Yeah, just sticking around a little bit too long there for RTM, not knowing when to call it quits. Going for the dive, and unfortunately for them, DragonClaw was there just the right place to counter that and get some kills back in their favor.
Oh, Prodigium finds Flux. That was a little weird. Knocked him over the wall on accident. Loker looking for the Sky Splitter, maybe to turn around, but he's got to get out of there. Teleport behind as Tendies is looking for the recollapse. Prodigium just continuing to walk menacingly after the rest of these DragonClaw members. Still has his ultimate available if he needs it, but now the Everfrost coming out. Big knockup from Prodigium as X-Craze flies in. They find 2 kills in mid.
Really well played there by ROTM. They chased Flux forever, and Flux got some friends behind him, thought he could stand there, but the CC there from RTM means that he does end up falling. And 11-6 now. RTM up 5k gold. This dragon spawning in just a couple minutes, but they are doing very well with their lead. Very much not letting up. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of mythics being finished up, notably none in the top lane currently. Actually, neither top laner has a completed item, which is kind of strange to say, as well as Tendies is farming. He's just opted for, 4 bits of other items.
Yeah, a whole lot of CDR there with the Kindle Gem, the Caulfields, as well as ostensibly going for a Gore Drinker, I would assume, with the Tiamat, or the Iron Spike Whip.
The Tiamat active, yeah.
Yeah, half the Tiamat.
You gotta buy the...
Just the half.
Yeah, you gotta buy the other Tiamat to get the whole Tiamat package.
Yeah. A little bit of quiet here as both teams. Looks like our team is setting up around this dragon. Already has a lot of vision here. Taking their last resets before it spawns. They're going to be at full power going into this. It's going on DTS to see if they're able to get in, against the vision that our team has, and actually
the 5-stack is here. It's definitely spotted out. DTS going to take the Malphite ultimate, so that'll be something to watch. He's got a lot of power already with that Everfrost Silas. And RTM just going to walk it on in. They have to be careful not to group up too hard, but you can see they're not doing that because X-Craze is in mid lane and Tendies is still in the jungle. So success on the not grouping up, but now maybe looking for it. Prodigium hits 3 with the knockup. Everybody flies in. DTS not quite able to find the big knockup, but 1KK with a big unstoppable force. This fight is just kind of a mess. DTS forced to get out. Tendies health bar a little bit low. They're getting chased down now. It's a good fight so far for DragonClaw. Is the turn going to come from ROTM? It doesn't look like they're going to have it. Everybody very low. Prodigium looking over the wall, gets 2-man knockup. Loker is in, looking for that damage onto Yan Flux. They're going to trade support for support to start off with, and those are the only 2 casualties thus far in the fight. But Tendies has teleported back in from the top side, gets the big knockup into the stun. They're trying to find it. Loker still with a little bit of damage. DTS comes in with the abscond. They're running over the fight. It's going to be the ace eventually as they take down 1KK. What a fight by ROTM. A triple kill for Tendies too.
The fight was so close. It looked like RTM might have just overcommitted a little bit at the beginning. Underneath the turret, DragonClaw did a great job of kiting that out, getting the damage back, but RTM was able to just sort of slow the fight down, spread it out enough that, eventually with the teleport back in from Tendies, able to pick up every single kill there. 16-7 now the score, and ROTM is just so far ahead. They have the 3 dragons, they have the massive gold lead, only getting extended by picking up the turret there, and our team is firmly in the driver's seat here.
Yeah, but what a huge call by Tendies to go ahead and regen some of that health. Just that 1 extra health bar was able to secure so much as he teleports back in, hits the huge 3rd Broken Wings into the stun on 3 people, and, the rest of the fight is history. Shockwave from Senpai being more than mildly annoying on Tendies. He's got to back out for the time being in the bottom lane.
Yeah, but not getting that much off of it. It feels like, it's a little bit of exasperation here from Senpai. Nothing has been going their way.
Oh, DTS may be in a little bit of trouble, though, as Flux is going to walk in. The 2 tanks going to try to bash him to death, but X-Craze and Prodigium in his back pocket as they're off of Herald, teleport into the top lane from Senpai. They're trying to burst down Flux. They'll finally finish him off. Unstoppable Force used, going to trade 1 back. X-Craze just has no mana, so he's trying to find that last auto attack on 1KK, but can't quite as Loker gets collapsed on from the top side. It's all falling apart as RTM didn't get the reset off of their last fight win. Meanwhile, Tendies is continuing to pick a fight here against Pilgrim. He's caught up the red buff doing so much, but he actually finds the kill onto the Jinx, still continuing to fight his way through. Finishes off might finish off Senpai. The flash over the wall is going to be a little bit too much. Tendies, the blast cone out from Senpai. Tendies not quite able to find the knockup. Still looking for the chase. He's got 2 so far, trying to complete his collection. He'll find a 3rd. Loker is here for the stun onto 1KK. It's an unofficial quadra kill for Tendies 2 on the turnaround.
What a massive play there from Tendies. Take a look at his inventory there as he finished the Essence Reaver. He actually got a couple of crits off in that fight that just put out so much damage. This Riven, if all of DragonClaw are not together and getting all of their CC down, he will absolutely be able to just tear apart the fight. And even off of a good play there by DragonClaw, they got the picks. They end up losing the extended fight. So even when things are going well, it's just not well enough. Our team's going to be able to secure this Baron as well. Just
Ooh. The Karma in over the wall. Tendies is on top, and they'll finish him off. Pilgrim trying to run, stunned by Prodigium, and his job is done as he takes the kill. He's not Udyr, but it still applies, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very much Udyr-esque gameplay there. And yeah, you can't really blame for being there. At this point, you have to try and look for the steal. Unfortunately, just there, a couple seconds too late means he ends up getting picked off. And our team going to be able to get that reset, spend their gold. And with this purple buff, they should be able to really get a lot, sort of, put the final nail in the coffin here. Dragon is spawning in 2 minutes. That would be the Ocean Soul for our team. So both teams definitely want to contest that.
Yeah, X-Craze still has the Eye of the Herald in his inventory. He's
wow.
Looking for it. A big knockup though from Prodigium. Tendies is getting that damage, and Loker just uses the tower turn-off ability. They'll fall through. Just 2 kills already. Now on to Pilgrim. The stun from Loker. Tendies gonna get on top of him, and once Riven's on top of Jinx, there's really nothing to do. Unstoppable Force used defensively, trying to get a little bit of distance, but 1KK is next on the chopping block. Do they actually have the CC? They'll finally get the knockups, and they'll turn that one around as DTS uses the Malphite ult. Meanwhile, Prodigium and X-Craze off screen just taking down towers. It's another Bud Light ace for ROTM. 28-10 for game number 1. What a performance. They might get the Dancing Herald even.
We'll see if Sheila's able to survive. She is going to. Oh,
well, we'll never
maybe?
know. It's a mystery. Game 1 of Return of the Middlesticks, though, a dominating performance from the top side of the map. Loker and Tendies showing the synergy that they've developed playing in Sapphire Esports, and they look really strong to start off the season.
You know, Loker and Tendies, of course, as well as Prodigium, really just had so many massive roams, really blew this game open. You know, definitely can't forget him because he had a stellar performance as well.
Yeah, really good to see Prodigium on that Alistar. Really liked the look there. So we'll take just a short break and we'll be back with game number 2, Return of the Middlesticks on match point. That sounds really weird this early on. A best of 3, what a concept.
Imagine.
Return of the Middlesticks leads 1-0. We'll be right back. It is really nice though. I don't feel like I'm about to die toward the end of the series.
You mean we won't accidentally be here until 11?
That would be nice.
Novel concept.
I'm not a huge fan of it being, already like 5 minutes later, and there's only 4 people in this lobby. Like, where is everyone?
Well, they're just taking their pee break, Important.
I guess so. Oh, X-Craze confirms that Shelly did dance. Or Sheila, excuse me, second one.
That's the important thing. That's what we needed to know.
I mean, honestly, like, yeah, I appreciate that. Sometimes you just get a dancing herald in game 1. That really sets the tone. Especially if they just don't show back up. That would also be something.
They're taking their pee break. Come on.
Usually you get into the lobby and then take the pee break, but...
Well, they had 2 coaches, maybe they're looking at the replay real quick. Just trying to find a couple of things to point out.
Someone on our team invited them to the lobby. Maybe just unfamiliar with the tournament codes. Like that could be a thing as well.
Definitely an option.
And now they're all here, so I guess they just wanted to all join at the same time for the intimidation factor. That's definitely a thing.
There's a lot of value in that. It's like when Cloud9, back in the day, back in like Season 3, they used to do both of their bands back to back super fast. There's definitely intimidation factor in that. So I think showing the coordination, there's value there.
Yeah, I mean, you really need to all come in with a matching icon, though, too. And it's better if it's not one of the basic ones. Like, we all went out and specifically got this icon.
Yeah. Is that the secret?
Yeah. I mean, not to... On our League KC team back in the day, we all had the matching Penguin Dab emote for the end of the game. That, gave us a lot of success. So.
Yeah. Really helped cement those wins, I suppose, when it comes out.
I really hope someone clipped those two Tendies plays, because those were pretty good. Missed some Tendies diffs in my life.
Yeah.
It's been a bit. Somebody couldn't win in playoffs.
True. Yeah. Real disappointment there.
Does this auto update? That's
What's up?
I'm just looking at the, like, I have the Upsurge, like, big sheet up. One of the games is just already listed as 1-0, but it's also in a different color from every other game. So that's kind of weird.
Okay.
It's listed as the reschedule color, but then there's a reschedule below it that's a darker purple.
Maybe was rescheduled and was played like earlier today or like yesterday or something.
But it's weird that it's just 1-0. Like, that's not a series final score unless there's a forfeit, which would be kind of bizarre in week 1, right?
You said that there were only 23 teams, right? Maybe it's the person who would have played the 24th team if there were one.
No, because that's listed as open slot 1.
Oh, I couldn't tell you. Looks like ban has started up, though.
Well, then we'll look at more important things, as we're in to pick and ban for game number 2. Return to the Middlesticks with a dominating performance in game number 1. Had a couple overextension fights, as you've come to expect from the boys, but other than that, a pretty clean game 1, and so far the same bans for game number 2. Oh, never mind. There's the ribbon. That makes sense.
Yeah. Ribbon ban does mean that Seraphine is left open. That was the ban there. Oh, and our team going to be the ones to pick that up. So instead, Graves is the pick that's left open here. And interesting to see that DCL did opt for the blue side here. It's always interesting to see some teams valuing counter pick more or less. Yeah, DCL going with blue side here, and they are going to first pick that Graves, which is a champion that hasn't seen as much play recently. Received a couple of pretty big nerfs, but Flux, perhaps showing that it's still extremely comfortable on a champion. Definitely wants to play it here. Wants it enough to expend that blue 1 pick on it.
Yeah, and it's going to be the Gragas lock-in. That's an interesting, theoretically a flex pick, but I don't think I've ever seen Tendies play it. And then the Tristana, which actually is a flex pick. X-Crazed DTS. I think Tendies has played at top lane recently as well, so that would be a potential 3-way flex. I would not really want to see the Tristana top lane, but
if there is a AD carry in the game, Tendies has absolutely played at top lane. In the past been Callista as well as the new champion that spins. Ooh, Lulu Kog'Maw. Okay, so DCL obviously showing that they want to go back to the hyper carry game. So it is a little bit weirder to see you opt for it when with Graves a little bit less front line available to you.
Yeah, and this feels like a pretty good counter for Prodigium if they go ahead and lock that in. Just separate the Lulu from the Kog'Maw. I don't like the Rakan as much, but it's kind of a similar idea. You can engage and separate with your ultimate.
Yeah, I feel like Rakan is sort of opting into a team fighting style, which Cog and Lulu obviously want to have just a normal team fight. Whereas it feels like Blitzcrank sort of breaks apart that a little bit and makes sure that Cog and Lulu aren't allowed to just play a normal team fight. But, after the performance that Prodigium had in game one, willing to trust him with the Rakan pick here as we see
Ooh.
next couple bans
So
coming through. Malphite and Shen
yeah, the
instead of
Volibear
Prodigium.
ban is kind of strange to me because that would indicate that the Gragas is not jungle. And we know it's not support currently because I would really not want to see Rakan in any other role right now. So like,
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that's a Gragas jungle for Loker, and then they're
I would
continuing to
expect
banway junglers. But
I'd expect it to be a Gragas jungle, though Tendies has played Gragas before, jungled for a long time, and definitely has the games on Gragas, is able to mechanically play Gragas, and Gragas is an acceptable top laner, even if it's not, entirely the most common champion I think that you would expect out of Tendies. It's definitely a possibility. Oh, and the
that's
Fiora hover.
more what I would expect from Tendies. Kind of interesting that they've opted for keeping their flex alive with the Tristana rather than giving counterpick for Tendies. But maybe with the Malphite and the Shen gone, they're confident enough that the Fiora is safe.
Yeah, I think it is a little bit questionable to not save that for R5, but we'll have to see here what they do end up picking up with that counter pick. Um, you'd hope to see something that really has a favorable matchup, into the enemy team comp, into the uh, lane opponent here. If you're
Yeah.
going to
I like
make
the
Tendies blind pick Fiora.
Yeah, I like the general idea of the Fiora. Like the Cog Lulu, very strong in team fights. So you just opt to play away from that. Just go ahead and split push the game away. It makes a lot of sense from the way
Yeah,
the
but
teams interact. But yeah,
wouldn't you rather be playing Jax right now into Darius? It feels like Fiora
yeah,
Darius isn't that much fun.
I think it's fine. So when Fiora was first reworked, it was a really strong matchup for her because you can dive inside the decimate. It's
Mhm.
gotten a little bit less because a lot of Dariuses have started maxing like E or W or putting more points in those early, which negates some of that early power. But when people were just like full monkey mode maxing Q, uh, it works really nicely because you can just dive inside of the outer ring of decimate.
Okay, so how likely do you think it is that our team goes full spice here, and that's actually a Lucian top,
That
and then
wouldn't.
assumedly like Fiora mid? Um,
That's
can
not.
Fiora jungle? Seems unlikely, but maybe mid.
Yeah. I. That doesn't seem out of the realm of possibility, but I don't think that the value is there necessarily. Like I don't think Lucian is like super great into Darius because your auto range is about the same as the pull range. Like you get the dash afterwards, but
Mhm.
I don't know that that's like enough of a good matchup to put Fiora against Nico, which doesn't sound like a fun matchup.
I mean, to be honest, I don't think Fiora is going to have much fun this game.
Yeah.
Try to play Fiora into Lulu, Fiora into Darius, Fiora into Nico, and even Graves, with the smoke screen as well as two dashes can be a little bit difficult for Fiora to deal with. Again, coming back to, just wondering why it was picked R4 there. Because Lucian is a pretty good pick here. But I don't know if it crushes any of these lanes. I don't think it's great into Nico. I would assume that it's going bottom, in which case I don't know if Lucian Rakan can really do much against Koglulu. I'm pretty sure Rakan just eats a polymorph every time that he W's in. I don't know. It's be really interesting to see where our team decides to put all of their characters here.
Yeah. So
But
that said, we'll go ahead set the bet for the game. I didn't do a bet last game because I didn't. I kind of like to wait and see how many. I don't want to say enemy, like some of our friends from the other side of the rift show up for the stream to see if it's like a straight up bet kind of night or if got to make some prop bets. So we're doing a prop bet because I haven't seen anybody I don't recognize really. So you got Tendy's kills over under 8.5. So he needs 9 kills. Which on the Fiora in a rough matchup I don't know. I guess we'll see.
I would probably take the under on it, but I'm gonna hold off. I'll take whichever is less popular here, because again, it just doesn't feel like Fiora is gonna have that good of a time this game. Then again, it's Tendies.
Yeah.
Sometimes in awful matchups, he's able to just blow the lane out. So it's definitely a possibility that he's able to just sort of snowball through that top lane. One thing I do really like, though, from the side of DragonClaw is their top side of the map significantly stronger than last game.
Yeah.
There's a really strong 2v2 potential there with Darius and Graves, as well as Graves clearing faster than Gragas means that, there's priority there in the jungle pick. It's really like to see it after the way that game 1 went, with 1KK just having so much trouble after the early ganks and then getting frozen on for 4 minutes straight. I like that they changed their idea up. They're putting a little bit more priority on the top side of the map, and I really like that adaptation.
Yeah, it feels like a better draft. I don't want to say better necessarily, because they had a clear idea with their first draft. They never got to do it. They never, like, their one 5v5 team fight that they got to have was at a point where they were so far behind that it just didn't matter. But this time, feels like they've tried to solve a couple of their problems. They still have, the late game insurance of Coglulu, but stronger top half of the map that hopefully for them won't fall apart as quickly. And for RTM, they got a lot of AD. They got a lot of split push. They got some marksmen, so that's kind of cool. And then you've got Gragas to help try to blow apart some of the fights, I guess.
Yeah, I think last game, it highlighted how our team sort of had the onus on them to try and get ahead in the early game, because they were very skirmish heavy. And even that composition had a lot more team fighting power than this composition here for ROTM. With the double 80 carry plus Fiora, there's not a lot of hope if they get into real 5v5 team fights and are not super far ahead. So, once again, reprising their role as the proactive team here, needing to make something happen in the early game, just because it feels like if this game does start getting to 25-30 minutes, it should be favorable for DragonClaw.
Yeah, do you even feel, maybe I'm kind of biased because I'm so used to seeing Wings Nico just do things that shouldn't be done. But do you even feel like the Lucian is a significantly good matchup into the Nico?
So historically, Lucian sort of dumpsters every mage in the game, mid lane. So I would expect it to be favorable towards Lucian. I don't know if it's going to be blowing out the lane. I don't know if he's going to, really be solo killing her a ton. But Nico has pretty long cooldowns. If she ever misses her E, it feels like Lucian just has complete and total control and can dash straight into her. I feel like it's Lucian favored, though that can swing so quickly as any Lucian lane. If you fall behind once, it becomes pretty hard to continue to pressure, just because that champion really needs to pressure to get the value out of the pick, right?
Yeah, for some reason all I can think of is that Jizuke game where he just dove the mid tower twice in a row for no reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, get your bets in. You got like a minute left. Looks like Over has about 3,000 more points, so that's honestly pretty interesting.
Yeah, a lot of faith here. And after the performance in game 1, who couldn't have faith?
Yeah. We have an emote for him for a reason.
Yeah, wouldn't be too surprised if he's able to do it, though. If there were a team comp to counter him, I think DragonClaw did a good job of it. Yeah. I think that there's a lot of play there, a lot of potential for shutting him down.
Yeah, so do you like the bottom lane matchup at all? Or is Coglulu just so much more power? Like, it's gotten a lot of popularity recently. Like, we've been seeing a lot of Coglulus across...
I think Tristana Rakan is really strong early and has the potential to, all in at level 2 and look to just blow someone up, because they both do have a lot of damage and a lot of potential in the early game. But I'm just worried about either champion wanting to jump in and immediately eating a polymorph from Lulu. I think if there were I feel like Lulu just has a lot of counterplay to it. It'll be really interesting to keep an eye on, just because if this lane just goes completely even, Hog Lulu gonna be pretty happy. That said, Lulu, not a whole lot of roam power, so we saw how much Prodigium was able to get done last game with roaming. And this time around, not really going to be matched all that much, I'd imagine, by the Lulu, because, then you're kind of leaving Kog'Maw alone on the side lane, which I don't think is really what you want to see. So, I think that that might be Prodigium's angle into this game, is to try and pressure the map elsewhere.
Well, we'll find out. The rubber hits the road here in 2 seconds. Thanks again for joining us. If you don't follow the stream, please hit the follow button, as that helps us out tremendously. And the way Matsuro's been gifting subs, you'll probably get a gift sub from it. So, big bonuses.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. Oh, that's a decision. All right.
The Ignite?
Yeah.
I think it's fine.
That was a quick ass load too. Nobody's computer's lacking today. Although then we sit here in black. The calm before the storm on Summoner's Rift. There we go. All right. So on the blue side of the rift, wearing the blue health bars, fighting for their lives.
Series lives.
Their series lives. Yeah, it's not actually that dramatic. But trying not to fall to 0-1. They're going to be DragonClaw. And then on the top side of the rift, looking to close out the series, wearing the red health bars, is Return to the Middlesticks. But yeah, you like the Ignite on Graves, or you're meh about it?
I think the Ignite makes a lot of sense. Again, coming back to just this 2v2 topside power, Ignite brings you a lot of power in that fight, especially against the Fiora. Just cutting down her healing can make it just that much harder for our team to actually end up winning the fight. I think it makes a lot of sense if Graves is trying to play around the top side in the early game. I think it's fine.
All right, well, the only other tech is we've seen pinged a couple of times is Lulu has Exhaust, which is going to be, important to track. You don't want to get baited and get exhausted when you go in. It's a little bit less like attacking pressure, but more defense and survivability for your bottom lane.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of the champions on our team pretty sad. If Fiora's eating an exhaust, Lucian's eating exhaust, Tristana jumping in, eating exhaust. I think that it definitely has the potential to turn a fight. It's definitely an impactful choice, and I think it makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, and then Darius not going full solo queue has the teleport to try to match some of the teleport pressure from Tendies. So
imagine not going Ghost. Not a real Darius player.
I mean, Broken Blade got a pentakill on teleport Darius. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but so especially with your jungler going Ignite, I feel like going a second combat summoner here, whether it's Ghost, whether it's Ignite, probably not Ignite. I think Ghost is the right choice. I think there's just a lot of power potential there. So, I would have liked to see it, but that's okay. It's already some trading here. It looks like DragonClaw actually got priority on the wave and are pushing for the level 2. It's not what you'd expect to see from, the Tristana lane losing out on the early pressure, but...
Yeah, I mean, the double ranged into ranged melee probably contributes to that, but they'll equalize level 2. Should be a little bit safe. Trying to jump in. They're actually onto the Lulu as the shields were already used onto Pilgrim. Heal forward. Gets the jump. X-Craze flashes for first blood. Andy Rocket jumps back out over the wall. Prodigium continuing just to scrap with Pilgrim, but he's tanking minions in the process, trying to get on out. Tendi stays inside of that Decimate circle, trying to find that vital proc. Not quite able to get it as they're turning back onto Pilgrim now. He gets into the bush. One more auto's going to detonate the bomb, and Prodigium finishes it off. So it's a 1-for-1. Meanwhile, Tendies is in trouble. Dashes forward with the riposte, but it's not going to matter as 1KK finds the kill on the Darius.
And what a play there in the bot from him, who engaged up eating the polymorph, but able to still turn it around and pick up the 2 kills. Really good for them.
Yeah, and Tendi's in a reverse of the situation we saw him in last game. Now, down 1-0, teleports to the wave. Luckily this time, Loker is there to try to help him out, make sure that he can't get dove by Flux. You like to see that early Not a great early start for the Fiora in the lane.
Definitely not, especially, this matchup, if it is playable for Fiora, I don't think it's playable in the early levels. The pass from Darius once it's stacked just gives too many flat stats. Ooh, an engage here.
Yeah, Loker looking for Flux, gets the belly bop onto him, but not the follow-up damage. And Prodigium still looking to be aggressive as they're trying to slide down into the river. That we could have a full-blown 4v4 right now. Really good use of the clone there by Senpai as DTS dashes in. He gets ignited by Flux. The smite on the Scuttle Crab is actually huge for the amount of survivability. X-Craze is so low as Pilgrim not quite able to finish him off, but Flux and Senpai still looking for a little bit more. Loker's able to regen. He flashes forward for the double belly bop, and DTS finishes him off with the piercing light. Meanwhile, Tendies and 1KK renewing pleasantries in the top lane. That looks like a better trade for Tendies, although the burn is pretty significant from Darius. Meanwhile, Senpai is still trying to run away from DTS, but Loker collapsing on him from the top side. DTS finds his second kill of the game. 1KK, a good dash in by Tendies, but now the passive is procced. They're still looking for more. Prodigium is in with the flash knock up onto yeah, they're looking for Pilgrim. They have to be careful about that cog passive, though, as they do trade another one back. Teleport being channeled now by Senpai, as it looks like they might have bitten off more they can chew, but the explosive cask ferments and finishes it off. Meanwhile, Tendies gets a solo kill in the top lane. It's 7-4 at 5 minutes.
It's just so much fighting back and forth, and our team coming out on top 7-4. And perhaps most importantly, X-Craze has just been chilling bot this entire time, farming it out, getting the picking up so many waves there. He's now double Pilgrim CS and is very far ahead, and somehow Tendies, after giving up the solo kill, able to turn one back around, which is just massive there. Once you get your Darius ahead, you expect him to stay ahead, and him losing out in the 1v1 just feels pretty bad for DragonClaw.
Well, unfortunately, if you're an RTM fan, there are some bright spots still for DragonClaw. The 2 kills on the Kog'Maw, he's stacking up a Cull as well. He'll be a very strong boy when he's able to complete that. Going to be a little bit behind the pace, though, of X-Craze early on as he does finish up the Noon Quiver. But looking in top lane, in comes Loker, level 6 hit by 1KK, so they have to play this very carefully, trying to stay inside of that Decimate range. A little bit of damage done, gets pulled in. Do they actually have it to finish him off? They finally do, as Tendies is able to secure that kill.
It's a little bit scary there. Darius at that level
Flux
6
is here looking for Loker, hits the end of the line. Doesn't look like there's going to be anything more. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're fine. But yeah, that Darius can be so scary at level 6, but RTM played it really well. Didn't give him the double heal on the Q, means that able to pick up that kill, and now after giving up a solo kill, Tendies 2-1-0, basically even in CS, going to be able to crash this wave as well. For how it started, this lane's looking very good here for RTM. So it's here in the bottom. After the reset, X-Craze did have a little bit of extra gold. Surprisingly enough, even with being down a kill, just all that alone time there with the wave meant that he stayed even. And
X-Craze may be in trouble though, as Prodigium, Prodigium is looking for this invade. They're trying to set up for this dragon. X-Craze forced to rocket jump
DTS
out, but
behind.
in comes DTS and Prodigium, the culling coming through. Not quite enough damage. It does force the flash out of, yeah, they'll be happy to get that summoner spell as Prodigium battle dances to rejoin his teammate. Loker's in the area as well. And yeah, it looks like they were sweeping through for that dragon, trying to see if they can find a cheeky play in bottom. And the back from Senpai is going to mean that this is a free dragon for RTM.
Yeah, gonna be able to pick that one up. It looked a little bit scary with the invade there from Prodigium backing up his mid laner, but X-Craze able to stay safe. It's at the end of the day, they're picking up that dragon, looking at a 2k gold lead in favor of RTM, and again, with the proactive comp, able to get that early lead is exactly what you want to see if you're RTM there. Tendies
always plays with fire. And, sometimes he gets burned, and you hate when it's one of those moments. Now, looking for the solo kill again, pops the grand challenge, looking for all the vitals. He hits all 4 of them. That's really nice, but it's going to get turned around on a big heal on the Decimate. Misses the E, though. Still kiting back through. Needs one more vital. Gets the parry on the Decimate. One auto finishes it off. Does he burn down? It doesn't look like it. The heal from Tramp should be enough. Tendies with a solo kill in top lane.
You just hate to see it again after that early play there with Darius getting the lead. Now that lane is just completely doomed. Losing out on that fight just feels so bad. if you're the side of DragonClaw.
Yeah, X-Cray's a little worse for wear here in the bottom lane. Needs to kind of chill, get a little bit of regen going on. Shouldn't be in any particular, like Cogalulu isn't the, most aggressive lane of choice. So as long as they don't initiate anything silly, he should be fine. Meanwhile, though, Loker's here to initiate something silly. Right before level 6s for Pilgrim and yeah, it might be a good timing. Tangle Barb's going to land onto DTS in the bottom lane, but yeah is just dead in the bottom lane. That would have been more important to watch, I think, directed camera. DTS calls through Senpai, and yeah, everything... Oh, Loker's maybe looking for the dive. X-Craze with his best tactical impression so far as he jumps in. Loker trying to just herd him back underneath tower. He's got no mana. He's got level 5 right now, and he's taken down by X-Craze. That was a clean little dive.
Yeah, really well played there. You like to see the early aggression here from Loker, taking advantage of that bot lane of DragonClaw that just wasn't quite level 6, and just take full advantage of it and set them even further behind. And for a bot lane where it was sort of a question mark in terms of the matchup, being into the Kog'Maw Lulu, X-Craze very much ahead now, 20 CS as well as the 1 kill participation, a couple of plates in his pocket as well, is feeling really good about himself.
Yep, picks up his 3rd plate for his trouble, and he'll get a nice recall off of that. Teleport into topside from DTS as they're looking for this. They have Flux in the back pocket, but they'll jump forward onto 1KK, and the Darius is down again. Tendies is on a rampage, and there's nothing that Flux can do. You mentioned in the pregame how, or I guess it was during the very beginning stages of the game, the Ignite indicated that he might be looking to play more toward topside, although now they're looking for Senpai in mid, and I'm not going to get to talk about that at all. Ooh. Really nice battle dance back out, but Loker going in with the Predator, gets the pop, looking for that little bit of extra damage, has the cask available if he wants it. DTS over the wall, flashes forward for the piercing light for the kill. The roams from DTS have been really nice on the Lucian. Sorry, the Ignite on Flux meant that he was going to play toward topside. We saw the 1 gank early, but we haven't really seen that return from Flux. Do you feel like that's a misplay or just hasn't been presented the opportunities?
It's hard to say. It does feel like you had a game plan going in with picking this Darius. You got the counter pick top. You have the strong 2v2, and just not taking full advantage of it does feel like you're missing out.
Now they're looking for the bottom lane. X-Craze trying to get Kite back away, but Loker and Prodigium here to knock up. A big double knock up there. X-Craze finishes him off through the exhaust. Actually, it was Loker picking up the kill. Flux is here trying to turn this one back around. X-Craze is low. Yeah, falls. It's a double kill for Loker, but the teleport in from Senpai. Dash away from the Tangle Bards from Loker. Senpai still in pursuit, getting some of those autos down. Prodigium is caught in this bush, but DTS is here maybe looking to collapse. Flux gets knocked up the dash forward from DTS. A little bit of extra damage. Counter and teleports coming in from both of the top laners. 1KK is here just a little bit earlier as Tendies dashes forward looking for Senpai. Now turns back onto 1KK. They'll get the healing from that grand challenge, and ROTM makes a successful play out of that. They do lose X-Craze in the process, though. Oh, maybe still looking for the redive onto Senpai. They've herded him into the tower. Tendies initiates in the Pop Blossom channeled, and a good stopwatch is going to buy them time, but now Pilgrim is able to rejoin. Dash forward from Tendies looking for the healing. He doesn't quite have it. He gets shut down by Pilgrim. And now an overextension on the redive by ROTM.
It was a great counterplay there. Them taking advantage of Kog'Maw being just a little bit too far up, able to pick up a couple of kills, but unfortunately, it's a little bit too much aggression there. Means that it's 700 gold going into Kog'Maw's pocket off of picking up the Fiora shutdown. You really hate to see it just because it feels like they were so far ahead, and they still are up 5k gold here, but if there were a champion that you didn't want to give that gold to, it's Kog'Maw, just because that is the win condition at this point for DragonClaw. Any amount of gold that he gets is, just very scary here.
Yeah.
Because DragonClaw still has a really strong team fighting composition. They still have that hyper carry possibility. So.
Yeah, honestly, yeah. I don't mind the overaggression in week 1. It feels much easier to teach people backing off rather than, trying to get people to be aggressive. Pilgrim is caught. He took a bad path back toward the bottom side of that dragon. Kind of forced to take that bad path, though, by Loker and Prodigium. And the Kog'Maw going to explode for this 5th time this game, and the dragon will go to ROTM.
Really good there on ROTM. Able to just split up DragonClaw and make the poor Coggers all alone there. Ooh, nice little trade there.
Tendies is just going to jump onto 1KK. He's 2 levels down right now. 3 vitals, and can he find the 4th? Has to be a little careful, and he'll dash back out. That's really smart. That's the tendies I like to see. Like, I feel like tendies even just a split ago would have gone for that dive and just died, traded 1-for-1. That felt like a. It feels like he's a new man up in the top side, you know.
There's a good awareness there to not just try and force it. You know, there's a good apprehend there by 1KK, able to just sort of stall that out long enough to be able to walk away. And there's so much damage coming down here in this bottom lane. Tristana, even with the enemy jungler in the area, still able
The
to just
Tangle
walk
Barbs
up and
land.
put so much
Senpai looking
damage.
for that full 100-0, but a good dash from DTS is going to get him out of range. Now Flux here looking for a little bit more. Dashes out of the Tangle Barbs, has the Relentless Pursuit over the wall, and Flux, while with the follow on the quick draw, doesn't have the range to be able to lock that one down. They do have to defend this mid lane turret as Loker are going to swing on in, looking for the 1v2, hits the cask back in onto Senpai. Does he actually have it? Oh no, he's chasing the wrong one. Oh no, a tragedy for Loker.
I just hate to see it. It was a nice little combo there, and just the aggression there, looking for the 1v2.
Oh, but here's X-Craze! The assassination with the Gale Force over the wall. I love this team so much. All right. Turret in mid lane going to go down. Flux, though, hits the shot, and he'll get taken down off of the Blast Cone. The Ignite actually finishes him off. Darius expends his flash for nothing, but you know, still the pressure being applied. Pilgrim and yeah, gonna try to run down DTS. He's got the culling back through. He's got to be careful. Yeah, that wild growth gonna save his life. Now Flux and 1KK looking for the 2v1 in top lane onto Tendies. He's trying to kite this one back. It's Noxie and Guillotine. Has the he didn't quite land the W. Otherwise that would have been fine. But meanwhile, Kog'Maw's fallen in mid lane. Yeah, going to be a victim as well. No, he hits the blast cone. He's out of there. So some good plays from DragonClaw to try to even things back up. They managed to take down Tendies. Yeah, still in trouble, though. Loker closes the gap. Not quite able to find the cask, but he gets the bop. The shield is still there. Yeah, is doing a remarkable job underneath the tower. He'll drop tower aggro, and Prodigium going to be a bro and tank that one up for him.
Yeah, good guy Prodigium there, able to make sure Loker's able to come out of that. And both teams are just looking for so many plays. There's no letting up on either side here. Both of them trying to find a way to get any sort of an advantage, and this is a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I love
Lots
this.
of skill checks across the board.
This feels like some ROTM gameplay. This is. I don't want to flame these FAL teams that I've been casting for the past 8 weeks, but their games are heckin' boring. And one thing I can count of from ROTM Diamond is that they'll fight people. So.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, so to bring us back in, 16 minutes in, so Baron hasn't even spawned yet. We've already seen 29 kills, 20 of them under them going in favor of ROTM. They have a massive gold lead here, 6.5k, as well as the 2 dragons, so very firmly in the lead here.
Ooh, Flux getting collapsed upon, has to use his ult just to try to get out of there, gonna get quickened up, and Loker almost has enough damage to 100 to 0 him, but here comes yeah with the wild growth. Tendies is gonna finally finish that one off. Yeah, falls as well, just gets demolished by that explosive shot. They're able to kite out of the Pop Blossom as well, as Senpai and Pilgrim still looking for that little bit of damage. X-Craze trying to reinitiate on them. Prodigium over the wall, and DTS is here with the culling. The collapse from ROTM nets them the Bud Light ace, and now all of the objectives that they'll want will fall before them.
Yeah, they're just so far ahead. A really nice collapse there as Flux made the classic mistake of thinking he's allowed to be in his jungle at all while his team is behind, and instantly having to pay the price for it. And our team's just so far ahead. You love to see the fact that they're playing around this vision. Just take a peek into that topside jungle. So many wards.
Oh, Tendies doesn't get the reset on his Q, so he's got to get out of
here. Yeah, just playing the edge of that range a little bit too far there means he doesn't get the lower cooldown. But it's probably for the better. I think that going for that dive is a little bit optimistic.
Yeah, how about this one, though? Hits 2 vitals, 3 and 4. That's pretty clean. And Tendies, oh, the shield not quite enough to save him, but he'll eventually burn down. They'll finish that one off. X-Craze, oh, what a play by X-Craze! That was a really good buster shot away on the Pop Blossom as the 2 marksmen collapse in bottom lane and find a tower and a kill.
Yeah, a little bit over aggression there from Tendies without the knowledge of where the enemy is at. Means he ends up giving over a kill, but it is a trade 1-for-1 and really well played there by the rest of ROTM. The marksman group, the marksman duo there, able to make a play bottom, get the kill as well as that turret. So even when Tendies is applying a ton of pressure top lane, they're able to take advantage of it and still get stuff on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, I think Flux is on this Rift Herald right now, and they're going to just
The
collapse
teleport?
on him. In comes Prodigium looking for the steal,
Oh,
gets the charm onto him. The Rift Herald at 400 health, it doesn't even matter. It's just an afterthought now as they collapse onto Flux. Tendies finds one kill, 1KK trying to find that one in as he dashes in. Tendies lives and he gets a double kill. Even looking for more, he's onto, yeah, the Wild Growth stopping him for the time being. One more auto, and it's a triple kill for Tendies too. Pilgrim is caught on the other side of the map. Loker pops the Predator, boxes him into the wall. It's just a massacre. Loker with the solo kill on the Kog'Maw and ROTM. What a performance. What a statement for week 1.
yeah, definitely. There is oh, this
Oh,
Tendies
Tendi's
still
looking
looking
for
for it.
Senpai, eats the Pop Blossom, doesn't really care about that damage. Gets shut down, though, by Senpai. That's 700 gold into his back pocket, but do you store gold in the back pocket? I guess I've never asked for that preference.
I don't know where else you
1KK
would.
gonna dash in with the Stride Breaker, but they're gonna lose Flux for it. They're just so strong. Even what looked like an okay initiation there from 1KK just doesn't work out for them.
Yeah, and it feels like they have to make some sort of a play, but unfortunately it just seems like it's too little too late. 14k gold ahead is just an absurd lead. So even when you're able to pick off the Fiora, the rest of the map is still just so much stronger than you. It really feels like it's ROTM's game to throw here. Not sure how much DCL is actually gonna be able to do at this point. Unless they get a Miracle Kog'Maw fight, maybe,
Ooh, Lulu
RTM
finished.
DCs for a little bit, lets him just auto.
Yeah, Lulu got the Moonstone, so she's actually the strongest champion in the game right now.
Yeah. DTS with 3 completed items, but that Lulu though.
That Lulu though. Yeah. Graves is like your jungle, our jungle comrades. Right?
Oh.
Tendies.
Ooh.
Nice little
Almost the upper hand
riposte.
catched him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to set up for this Baron, it looks like. DTS is split down in the bottom lane. He actually does not have teleport to rejoin the squad, so RTM has to be a little bit careful about how they play this. 4v5 might be a way for
I think it's
DCL
fine
to
though,
equalize.
just because RTM never has to start the Baron until they see multiple people committed to the Lucian.
Ooh,
And
nice
unless
sidestep
multiple
there
people
from
are
DTS,
committed,
but in comes Flux looking for it. DTS trying to turn this one back around. Couple autos, he finishes that one off, and the culling coming through Senpai. Oh, he dashes back out. Back in, it's a double kill for DTS. Not quite
oh
able to
my
find the
god.
triple, though, but he kills 2, and that means that Tendies can start killing the mid lane turret. He finishes that one off. Now he's looking for 1KK. In comes Prodigium to try to help him out. The healing isn't quite enough. Prodigium has to get out now as 1KK just a little too strong there with the Lulu in his back pocket. Meanwhile, Loker and X-Craze just duoing the Baron.
Yeah, they've been doing it ever since the DTS started that fight bottom, and what a massive play there. DTS in the 1v3 able to trade back the kill, really well played there, and maybe a bit of over-aggression there from RTM with having 2 members pushing in mid. It feels like maybe backing up and just picking up the Baron's a bit safer of a call, but still RTM very firmly ahead, able to pick up the Baron even when the rest of the team is giving over some gold.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate that it's only on X-Craze and Loker. And that was 1,000 gold shutdown for Pilgrim on DTS, so he's headed toward a Rage Blade. Still no safety really for him, but he's going to be outputting a lot of damage. Yeah, you have the Lulu for the safety, I guess.
I don't know what kind of safety you're supposed to buy against the enemy team comp, to be honest.
Yeah, that's also fair.
Maybe
Like
like
a
a
QSS
rapid
does
fire,
nothing for him.
but
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's if people get onto him, he's pretty fucked anyway.
Oh, the
He's
bush
only
bait,
relying.
but they might be
Oh,
able to catch Tendies. They pull him in. They do eliminate him. The knockup from Prodigium isn't quite enough, and now they've got to get out. That's a nice little play. Oh, they've even caught X-Craze as a little extra on top. That's another big shutdown going to Senpai. That's a really nice little play with 46 seconds to go before the Dragon spawns for DCL.
it's actually really good there from DCL. This far behind, those are the types of plays you have to go for, and able to pick off RTM, who had just pushed up a little bit too far with literally nobody showing on these waves. All of these waves were pushed in, and No, no members of DCL.
Oh my god, Loker
Wow.
eliminates the Lulu. DTS finally finishes off the Graves. That's a huge shutdown, though. They have to be careful about all of these shutdowns going into the back pocket. Prodigium gets a big knock-up. DTS still hanging around, but these are the last two members alive for ROTM. It's a double kill for Senpai. Yeah, I agree. Why, though? Tendies is teleporting into the mid-wave as the dragon spawns. They might still look for this 2v3 if I know them. X-Craze is hanging around, or just respawned, excuse me, not really hanging around. DTS over the wall, gets hit by a Kog'Maw ult. Tendies is into the pit. He's not quite able to steal it away. It's secured by the Darius. They'll dive in, but it's a double or 2 kills already. X-Craze in, though, for the double kill, looking for 1KK. Tendies trying to help his boy out, and it'll be the triple kill for X-Craze.
Channeling the recall there for half a second. Really good cleanup there by X-Craze, but at the end of the day, I think that when you're this far ahead, the only way that you lose this game is continuing to run in and try and 1v5. So I don't really like to see RTM, try and push it, but at the end of the day, able to pick up the kills, able to, sort of patch the bleeding there. It's the game of a lot.
Is looking for it still. He's on top of Flux. The wild growth going to prevent him. Trying to dash back out. He'll at least live for the time being, and now Prodigium and Loker are able to rejoin. They'll grab the mid lane inhibitor. At least tear down a structure in the next couple of minutes. Would really like to see them close it out here pretty quick before they continue to hemorrhage a little bit of gold back into the enemy team. Senpai and Pilgrim have gotten right back in it off of the back of some of these shutdowns. You can see the 3 completed items on Kog'Maw, almost 3 for Senpai, mean that they're getting close to their equivalents.
It's very scary. This on even items puts out so much more damage than any other AD carry, so even if he is behind, he's still very strong. This gold lead is still pretty massive.
The root gonna land onto Loker. They're able to chain the CC, and they've picked off Loker to start off.
Yeah, RTM just keeps getting caught out just over and over and over. Remember when their lead was 15k? Now looking at, the measly 12,500, which is still a pretty significant lead, but the longer this game goes on, the less that number matters, and the more just the kit scaling here from the side of DCL. The great.
Oh, I might have lost Ikeo.
This much golden is just a little scary. Hello?
Your internet's been cutting in and out a little, but
oh no.
Hopefully the stream can gather some of what you're saying. I can't, to be honest, but maybe the stream can. You're fine now. It just like 1 second or two, it'll just cut in, and you're just blitzcrank for a second, and then it's fine.
Sag.
Tendies has to be careful. He's walking into an enemy team right now. And yeah, our team's slowed down the tempo a little bit, which I think is fair. 1.5 minutes to go on the Baron, 2.5 on a Mountain Soul, potentially. Both of those feel pretty nice if they're able to secure them. Especially without losing everybody beforehand again.
Yeah, I hope to see them just play a little bit more controlled here for the next few minutes to try and just close this one out, because the longer it goes on, the more scary the composition of DragonClaw gets.
I'm the only one that hears him as a robot. That's kind of interesting, that Discord is just like feeding directly into OBS correctly, but not into my speaker.
I would bet it's my internet. That would be.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think that's what it's been in the past. I'm checking my headset just to make sure. But okay, never mind. He roboted. Excellent. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, because that's the easier to fix issue. That's just, oh yeah, his internet is crap. I guess that's not easier to fix. It means I don't have to buy a new headset, which is a positive. But yeah, they're looking to collapse on Tendies, not quite able to find him. Again, 27 seconds to go on this Baron spawn. RTM in no particular hurry for the time being, although I really want to see them get these 2 objectives and then just finish off the game. Like, you don't want this to go on any longer once you get those. Tendies is isolated now, finally, against 1KK. We can maybe see the renewal of that 1v1. But the whole squad from DCL roaming together in that mid lane. They're spotted on this mid wave.
Not much scarier as the game goes on, so.
Yeah. They're spotted on the mid wave, so Baron started up for ROTM. Can DCL even get into contest? I don't think I would want to necessarily. Prodigium has a little flank. They're going to spot them coming in. They need to turn on to Flux right away. The culling comes out. A lot of damage as Prodigium groups them all up, gets the knock up. They've taken down Lulu. They'll take down Graves as well. 1KK is here. They'll trade it back. They get both of the marksmen, but Tendies is finishing the game in that bottom lane. He's got it coming in. The teleport's being channeled. Loker going in. Finishes off Kog'Maw. They'll try to get the snap back as the two teleports do channel for 1KK and Senpai. Tendi's looking to 1v2 for the game right now. Gets the stun underneath the tower. Finishes off one. Looking for Senpai. Dashes in. Gets rooted up by the Tangle Barb. Senpai doing all right so far in this 1v2. But in comes Loker's in the back pocket. Tendies is tearing through. Nexus turret number 1. The stopwatch from Senpai trying to keep him alive. Does he actually have the sustain? Tendies gets a minion wave. That's actually really nice. But the respawn from might mean that it's a little too much. The squirrel form comes out. Tendies onto Nexus turret number 2. Dashes back out. And he'll live for the time being. Flux. Oh, he's got the riposte. All right. Well.
There's a nuts play there. So back and forth, but RTM not pushing for the win, and just leaving Tendies alone to do that on his own and just securing this Mountain Soul. Here, the rest of our team just gonna be able to pick that up in a really controlled way to end this game, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, well, the fight at Baron was, a little scary, but, afterwards, not trying to over-push, I think.
Yeah, Tendies, Loker, and Prodigium, I think all have Baron buffs. I think DTS and X-Craze were the only two to fall. I lost track, I'm going to be honest. Tendies definitely has a Baron buff, and I know Loker does. I'm unsure about Prodigium. Tendies might not have a Baron buff for much longer. Pilgrim just going to auto him down, yeah.
Yeah, once again, just a little bit too far up without everyone else on the map pushing in. You hate to see you lose your Baron buff. That's a lot of pressure and sort of slows down your chance to end this game, though DTS.
Yeah, DTS still wants to. Loker throws the explosive cask, gets a field goal. That's 3 points. Unfortunately, those don't count for a whole lot in League of Legends. But now they'll try to turn back onto the Kog'Maw. Pilgrim gets a lot of healing, though, off of that Wild Growth. DTS rooted up and shut down Prodigium. Looking for that initiation. Dashes in, dashes back out with the Battle Dance, and ROTM still can't finish off the game.
And they just...
Oh, Loker? Oh, man. If he didn't have that shield bow, that tech from Flux has saved his life more than a couple of times this game.
And Loker keeps looking for the engage and just does so much damage, but usually it's just not quite enough to actually be able to take anyone down. And RTM still applying
X-Craze
pressure
into
here.
melee range, not quite able to finish off 1KK though. The shields from Ayal keep him alive. They'll still look for this mid lane inhibitor. Tendies is respawned and walking back from base. They still have 25 on DTS, but they'll walk through this mid lane inhibitor. They might even head toward that top lane inhibitor. They still have Baron buffs. I think you mentioned on Loker and Prodigium. Oh, and now they drop off immediately as I say that. Well, unlucky.
Yeah. Not able to get too much with that Baron buff. Yeah, our team just, it seems like they're not quite all on the same page as they're trying to close this game out. They just keep pushing up a little bit too far solo.
It's hard with this.
Which for week 1.
Squishy as their composition is to walk into Kog'Maw at any point at this time. Like, it feels like it almost has to be a split push victory for them, which...
I think splitting is definitely fine. It's just when they are looking for it, it just feels like they don't have all the lanes being pressured at the same time, which means DragonClaw is able to send 4 people to go deal with Tendies, and our team's not able to get enough in return, right?
Yeah, 2
sort
minutes...
Of the,
Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No.
I was going to change the subject, so you can finish your point.
No, I was just complaining about their pressure, that's all.
Yeah, Tendies able to dodge out of the apprehend again. It's scary anytime they come into contact here. DTS has a Guardian Angel. That feels like a nice grab for him. Would like to see maybe one of those on Tendies, although I think he is. He's got a stopwatch, so that might help him out a little bit as well. They're just trying to escort these waves in right now, and they'll finally wrangle this top wave. X-Craze is on the bottom side, maybe looking for that collapse as well. They don't quite have that minion wave right now in the top lane, but a couple of autos onto the inhibitor from Tendies means that it's not going to last too much longer. Still just trying to use this range to poke everything down, but Pilgrim is huge on this Kog'Maw right now. He's max build, maximum damage. His only safety is his Lulu in his back pocket, but that's been enough. 1 KK takes about half of his health. The culling opened up, just trying to force them back off of the inhibitor. Ayaz low. Loker not quite able to connect with that explosive cast, but in they come. Tendy's looking for it. They'll collapse on. They'll finish him off. 3 kills immediately. The fights are just so explosive when they happen, and it's a triple kill for DTS, and they'll kill the Nexus as well. 2-0 for Return of the Middlesticks in week 1. It got a little shaky there toward the end of game number 2, but overall a very good performance from the boys.
Definitely got some massive leads and really a lot of proactivity. You really love to see them able to just establish these leads in the early game and take advantage of them. A little bit shaky as the game went on, just not quite able to close it out cleanly, but there at the end you saw exactly what they wanted to do. Just played that range really well, applied the pressure and able to just close it out there. Really well played there by RTM.
Yeah, so that's going to do it here for us for week number 1, a 2-0 for Return to the Middlesticks, hopefully setting the tone for what should be a really fun season, judging by that game. Um, but yeah, what we're going to send you to now. Oh, Thursday night, by the way, Legends Esports stream. Let's watch the LRS finals together as Winged and the boys are going to take on Rising Tide Tsunami for uh, pretty big prize pool. 700 Canadian dollars for first prize or 200 for second. So let's go support the boys on Thursday night. But right now we've got more boys to support. Vaughn and Karasuda are playing in the Sapphire Esports Finals right now. I can see that Sad Boys is up 1-0. I don't know if that's current or if this is like a past thumbnail that I'm looking at. But we're gonna go ahead and raid them. So give your love to Vaughn and Karasuda, and we'll see you guys Thursday night on the Legends Esports stream, and the next Monday will be our next cast. Although we have Lexus's game at some point, so some point you want to meme Lexus's game, we'll probably do
Yeah, at
that.
some point.
I'll message him and see when he's available to watch it. So yeah, go support the boys, Sapphire Esports. Oh, and Cardinals. I forgot. How did I forget? Cardinals is also there, by the way. Yeah. So go say hi to Cardinals, Karsuda, and Vaughn.
Gonna go support the boys.